The Young and the Restless has been on quite a roll in the past week, with escalating drama all around. And now Jill and Billy will join the festivities. With Kane Ashby already in the middle of everything exciting going on, Jill's entrance and her possible tension with Billy may be something exciting to look forward to in the coming episodes. Why do Jill and Billy fight in The Young and the Restless? On Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, Jill returns to Genoa City, significantly shaking things up all around. When Jill was around the last time, she found out about Aristotle Dumas' true identity and supported Nikki's leadership. She also sold Chancellor to Victor. This time, now that Jill is back, a good cause behind her return could be that Kane convinced her to join him as he plans to reclaim control of the Chancellor. This is the thing that could lead to a fight with Billy. Billy already has lingering tensions with his mother, but with her back, their disagreement could evolve into a full-blown fight. This could stem from Jill teaming up with Kane. The spoilers for the upcoming episode of Young and Restless suggest that Jill and Billy have a big face-off ahead. Perhaps to the extent that someone else has to step in to stop this from escalating even further. The upcoming episode of Young and Restless will contain many other big things, too, barring this fascinating return. The next episode will see a lot of drama between Victor, Claire, and Kyle, as per the spoilers. This is also something the show has built towards. The episode will also see Jill reflect on Chance's death. She may even hold Kane partially responsible, as he was the one who summoned Chance. Either way, fans have a lot to look forward to in the August 5th, 2025, episode of The Young and the Restless. Stay tuned for more updates. Saurav Chakraborty. Saurav Chakraborty is an entertainment writer at Evolve Media, where he covers movies, television, and everything in between. A film student and cinephile, Saurav channels his deep passion for cinema into crafting meaningful content. When he's not writing about cinema, Saurav is usually found watching the latest films and shows, which helps him keep up with the fast-changing industry trends. The Young and the Restless spoiler reveal that Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, will pay dearly for the horrible way he betrayed Claire Newman, Haley Aaron. What consequences does Kyle have to look forward to when the truth comes out? What will Kyle's betrayal cost him? Kyle agreed to signing a contract with Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, stating that he would not break Claire's heart. However, Claire's father died while Kyle was on this trip with Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. A trip that was orchestrated by Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and herself. Kyle is certainly going to regret his actions. Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, warned Kyle exactly what Audra was up to. However, Kyle swore that he could handle this. Audra was not going to get the best of him. Now Kyle can plan for this to come back and bite him. Kyle and Audra have tried to hide this loss of judgment. However, Kyle will pay dearly for that. Kyle Abbott's guilt will get to him. Kyle will certainly feel extremely guilty for what he has done. Kyle will soon get back to Genoa City and find out what happened to Cole Howard, J. Eddie Peck. Kyle will have to face the fact that while he was in Nice getting it on with Audra. However, Claire has no idea that any of this has happened. Will she learn the truth? The truth will come out, probably delivered by Victor along with the contract signed by Kyle himself. Kyle will certainly feel bad for hurting Claire, but Victor will feel triumphant with his "I told you so." Try as he might, Kyle will want to keep Claire in the dark, but there is no way this will happen. Kyle will be held accountable in the end. Claire Newman will not let this go. Claire will be devastated by Kyle's betrayal. How many times did she voice her concerns about Audra? How many times did Kyle dismiss her concerns? How many times did Victor warn her what was going to happen? Claire will be devastated, and Kyle will see that in her eyes. Kyle may have sworn that he loved Claire, but he certainly didn't prove it. Victor Newman will have his revenge. Kyle doesn't know what all Victor put in that contract because he never bothered to read it. However, Kyle agreed to pay Victor $5 million as well as agreeing to move away from Genoa City. Nikki asks Jack for a favor. Remember the last time Jack, Peter Bergman, tried to help Nikki? Remember how he always died? Remember how Victor reacted? He swore that Jack would pay for daring to give his wife something Victor couldn't. Jack will pay for figuring out that Nikki was struggling before her beloved, devoted, and all-knowing husband did. So while Victor walks around, mumbling about how he intends to destroy all the Abbotts. Nikki has another favor to ask of Jack. And you know he'll do it. Nobody. Kyle agreed to this because he believed he could keep Audra away from him. What will Kyle do now that he has to face the consequences? Victor will certainly force Kyle to pay him the $5 million that he agreed to pay. However, Kyle may find a way to get out of leaving down. Unfortunately, Kyle must also face whatever fine print that Victor added. How much will Kyle's little tryst with Audra cost Kyle in the end? On the August 4th episode of The Young and the Restless, Kane let Billy and Phyllis in on his master plan. He plans to take over Abbott and Newman, as well as Chancellor. Phyllis was completely on board. Billy was less than enthused about his own family being cannibalized. Lily wasn't there, but Kane refused to give up on pulling her over to his side. And now that we know his full plans, we think we also know how he intends to do it. Remember when Victor double-crossed Lily? Was it only a few months ago that Victor, Eric Braden, was manipulating Lily, Crystal Khalil? Victor got Lily to help him push Billy, Jason Thompson, out of Chancellor by promising Lily that he'd give the company to her to run. He never intended to do it. Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, knew it from the start. She clucked her tongue, but didn't stop Victor or warn Lily. Of course, as soon as Victor got Chancellor, he handed it over to Nikki and kicked Lily to the curb without so much as an apology, which is what we expect Kane, Billy Flynn, to use to convince Lily that she should help him go after Victor. Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, and Billy, Jason Thompson, both want Chancellor. Let them fight over it. Chancellor is nothing. It's chump change. The big get is Newman Enterprises. That's what Kane plans to take over. And that's what he should offer Lily. It's the most poetic revenge possible. And it's the one thing that may make Lily listen to what Kane has to say. And to follow his plans. More. Find out what happens next on YNR. Victor's wrath. Sure, Victor will fight back. But with Kane in her corner, Lily will be able to defend herself. She can make Victor sorry he ever messed with her. Phyllis is at risk of losing it all on the Young and the Restless. She's going all in on her deal with Kane. But does she really have a lot to lose? What will she end up losing? Placing her bets. Billy, Jason Thompson, is rubbing off on Phyllis, Michelle Stafford. She's treating life and business like a game of poker. Kane, Billy Flynn, revealed that he's going after Jabot, which made Billy pause. When Billy hesitates, you know there's something wrong. But not Phyllis. She didn't even blink. She just eagerly said, "I'm all in."